Hey everyone, Mac is back, and we're going to talk about war prep today. So I want to go over what you need to do before you go into battle. These are pretty basic steps, but everyone should be doing them, or most of them anyway, if you want to try to maximize the effectiveness of your army. So let's get to it. The first couple things that you want to do, couple moves that you have to make, you need to change your lord. So pick the lord that works best for you. So just go in here, click on your lord. You'll have a availability of all of them over here, which ones you want to use. Depending on your level, if you're free to play or if you're a medium spender, you're probably most likely a medium spender, or if you're, I want to say, you spend very little, then Seg will probably be your best option if you have him gold. Because if you do, he gives you really good buffs. So highly recommend him. If you're a medium spender and you have Annie, she's always good as well. Either one actually works. There's a lot Julian when you get him too. So those three are probably the most popular ones because of their total attack buffs that they're going to get. So just make sure that you do that for the change your lord. It's very important that that lord is in your formation, in your army when you're attacking, or you'll lose. You won't get any of these buffs that you get here. Make sure you change your equipment. So you want to click on your pre-added equipment whichever one that you may use. Click on that. Make sure that you, like, if you see I click on my army, it tells you over here which buffs that you have for the army that you have. Then you have your badge presets. Get into your badge. If you're using a spear formation, pure spear, or something like that. Like I typically use infantry spear, so I have that already pre-edited, and I have the other ones here that I could change into, which I will eventually, to, like, say, an infantry cav or a spear cav or something like that. But make sure you get those, you attach those as well, and in this area here will be very good. You'll be very strong. Go to your talents. You want to make sure that you're in your army talents. You probably have it archived here. Like I see, my very first one is the army. That's the one that I'm probably going to use. If I'm specifically using the infantry spear and I don't plan on changing it to anything that involves cav, then I'll go to that one. Or I can also do like a pure cav army if I want to do something like that. It really just depends. You can maneuver this and change these as much as you want. I just have a basic army one, and that's the one that you kind of want to stick to if you can, when you're putting those or changing those different things together. In the Sept to the 7, you want to make sure that you have your total attack. Either choose one of these depending on how long you're going to be fighting that day. Most people choose the 4-hour ones, but if you're going to be fighting for a while, maybe you want to choose the 12-hour or 24-hour one. There are times where you're going to be using immediate curfew because you don't want someone to be scouting your city. You're never using total defense, so just leave that alone. You collect these, but you're really not going to use them. But the curfew one could be good as well. So it might just behoove you to use the 4-hour 20% total attack instead of the other ones. And the other big thing, don't forget, it's just your army size. So make sure you choose your 20, 50, or 75%. Try to save up for the 50% as much as you can, and always get those 75%ers from the elite trials. Those are the two big ones. If you do come across 20%ers that are easy to get, then by all means get those as well. But those are the things you want to make sure, especially in the Sept to the 7. The other thing is you don't want to forget is to be in fervor. Fervor is very dangerous because once you're in fervor, you cannot go out of it until the time has lapsed. So if you're a 25 castle, which most people are, you're going to have 15% time that you'll be in fervor, where you can be attacked and you can't bubble. So, but you want that fervor for these buffs because you're going to get 23% total attack, and then you're going to get these other ones which really don't matter too much. But that 23% total attack is going to be very handy. One of the more important buffs that you're going to want to get have activated is the Hall of Faces, because they give you these ridiculously awesome stats here and buffs here, which are really good for your army. So make sure that you've already planned this out beforehand. You've murdered several lords so that you'll have a few days worth of fighting, but you have to plan this out. Like I do this once a week. I do it once a week, get the buff for the entire week, and it takes me 2.5 hours, because especially if you have Hall of Face, you have Hall of Face accounts where you can just kill the lords very quickly. One of the buffs, or the buff in the dungeon, is basically the level of lord that you capture. So if you have a lord that is level 1 through 24, you get 1% of a total attack bonus, the whole way up to level 60, which gives you a 30% total attack bonus, which is just a very, very massive difference. So make sure that if you're going to be fighting, grab this, have a lord somewhere. Maybe you go attack a low level, castle just to grab the level 60 lord, but that gives you an extra 30% total attack, and that's something that you're really, really going to want. One of the more forgotten areas when you're prepping for your army is your wall defense, because if you're going to defend against someone, maybe you're a 0 castle and you need to defend against someone who's going to be attacking you, and instead of emptying your castle out, maybe you want to actually take that hit because they recklessly attack you. Make sure your commanders on your wall are right. Make sure that your lord will always be up there. Like right now, I have my Lord as Gene just because I'm actually not in the battle mode ready to fight. But if I did, I put Seg in there, and this would be primarily what I'd have. I could, and you can always change this too. So if you know someone attacks with a specific formation, then change your formation on in here as well. So you can come back. It's a little more difficult because you have to come into your castle to be able to do it. But make sure that you're doing this. Make sure that you are changing the commanders on your wall to what you need to have. And one of the lesser thought about actions to take is to put one troop in your shelter, because if you put one of these troops in your shelter, you can be able to access this shelter from the main map and the world map. And that'll be what you want to do for sure, because when the world map, you're able to hide troops very quickly. You don't have to go back into your castle to do so. You can just click on your you'll be able to do it. So if I say I do this, for instance, I do it here. So if I go over to this area, you can see right here, for 1 hour I have this. You click on this arrow, and bam, I can recall very quickly, and then I can hide whatever troops I want, and I can confirm it and do it again. Very, very easy. Instead of having you go back into your castle, you don't have to click on the world map or anything like your castle to come back in here to be able to change that. So make sure that you do that as well, because I think that's very vital to be able to saving your troops from disaster. And one of the last things you're going to want to do is go and configure your armies. So for instance, you want to configure these armies after you've put on the army buff, the army size buff, because that army size buff is going to change how you configure your army. So for instance, if I'm using my infantry spear, I go to edit, I can come in here, you can see that my you can just hover over and it tells you how my army size is. It's 654, and it's actually changed since the last time I've been in here. It's gone up, which is something that'll happen continuously. But now if you put on a buff in there instead, say you put on like a 50% buff, this will be around like 900 and some thousand. If that's the case, and I go to attack and I just try to click on infantry spear, then I'll have to, it won't be as quick as you'd want it to be, and I'll have to modify these a little bit. So make sure you come here, choose the commanders, because you might have to change those commanders as well, because you might have upgraded some of them, and then some might be a little bit better than others. So if you get Julian and Seg and Annie all to 3 stars when they're gold, then they're going to be very, very good for their total attack. And then you can mess around with your other 2 commanders for those that you want to put in there to help your army. So that's basically everything that you want to do, and I made a little list here for you just to kind of give you an idea. If I went over too quickly or spoke too rapidly or something like that, this kind of tells you right here that what you need to be changing, what you need to be doing to be able to do your war prep. This is basically everything that you really need. There might be other things they add into the game later, and just be sure to get all of these done. If you do get all of these done, you'll be a heck of a lot stronger and really ready to fight, and probably fight and kill me. So that's do what you got to do. But hey, it's a game. We'll have some fun. So till next time, Mac out.